Hallmark Christmas movies.
Brian, Jen, you want to finish that email real quick, or should we?
Oh, I was trying to. Sorry, I'm trying to get help printing so I can print my notes for this.
That's it.
You keep going. Keep going.
I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan. I despise Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Jen, and I don't. I got caught emailing. I like them, and I just want to remind everyone because it's the proudest moment of my life. I wrote one.
That's right.
This is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
It's finally Christmas.
Sure is.
Finally Christmas.
Is that Jonathan Shapiro checking in? Is he trying to get on the line?
Jen Kirkman, welcome back
without her
for the seventh
seventh year in a row.
This feels good.
That seems like what?
Yeah.
It seems excessive.
7 years, Jen.
No.
You and Justin Kirkland and Alonzo Duralde. I think Doug Jones missed a year, right? I think the three of you are the only three that are all seven.
Wow.
All 7 years.
Royalty.
I hear you anymore.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
Oh, now it's good. Sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
great.
All that to say, we're very excited to have you back. How are you? Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you guys. I am good. A little scattered today. I don't know if you let your audience know, but I was supposed to do the 90s movie with y'all.
No, we wouldn't out you
We
like
would
that. But if you
never have
want
said
to,
it.
if you want to, then that's fine.
Well, yeah, I have ADHD, and it's, I'm pretty good at having it. And I even have an assistant part-time to help me with scheduling, but I forget to send her things. So then I try to handle it on my own. And Bran sent me very clear instructions, December 2nd. And I'm like, yep, December 2nd. Put in my calendar as the 3rd. And then yesterday he texted me like, see you in an hour. And I was like, what? I can't do that. I'm at work and I haven't watched the movie. So, he gave me another movie to watch. And as we were talking about before we went live, it is a God wink that I was given this movie to watch.
Massive God wink, almost a God blink. I mean, this is such a better, just a better movie to have the best.
Yeah,
I mean, Jen Kirkman to join us to break down Believe in Christmas. You can't make that up. I mean, that's as good as it gets.
You can't. But Jen, you brought it up. You did write one of these. What was that? Two years ago now? Has it been 2 whole years?
Yeah, and it was called 'Tis the Season to Be Merry. I created the story. I wrote the first 2 drafts, and then they had a very funny, great writer punch it up, make it more Hallmarky. So it definitely a co-writing, but it's repeating all throughout the year, and I remain kind of proud of it. And I do think it is the best set decoration, Christmassy stuff of all time.
There you go.
In the chat, in the Double Decker chat, people are all shouting it out, saying they still watch it, still love it, and they love your sweatshirt. So a lot of great.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. Now,
And I believe it was one of the first Hallmarks to have a shirtless man. So you're welcome, men and.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, can we expect another one? Are we going to do another one at some point?
No, I tried to pitch them a sequel, and I think I told you guys this. They said sequels don't do as well because
It's never stopped them before.
Good
They're
gosh,
doing pretty
no.
good now. Now's the time.
well,
I
I
think.
know they said that like in terms of romantic sequels, they don't do as well because you would have to set up some trouble in paradise with the couple, then bring them back again, and that the audience gets too upset in the first hour. They don't like to see their couple having trouble.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's what we want them to feel in the first hour, and then the second hour they're happy again.
That makes a lot of sense. It sounds more like a real movie, Jen.
A little too close.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay. And then I pitched some other ideas, and they were just like, nope. And then that's it. They don't want any more from me.
Oh,
Wow. Well, not if we can help it.
I don't think we can help it,
Yeah,
but
well, we can
Not if we can.
that's exactly right. When they ask our opinion on it, we will absolutely have your back 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, update everybody about what you've been doing for the past year. How are we?
Well, I have a writing job on a show that hasn't come out yet, so I don't think I can. Well, it's called Étoile. You can watch it on Amazon in April. It's like by the same people that did The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, so I worked for them. So I just kind of.
And you came back for the last season of Maisel, which landed the plane beautifully. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
And I give you the credit there, 100%.
No. Please don't. But and so I'm in the same like office with the same people, and there's a new show, and the writer's strike kind of got in the way, but it's coming out in April. Blah blah blah.
We are just so happy. We're so happy Jen's back with us. We got a fun one today.
Yeah,
we got
we do.
Believe in Christmas. So I'm going to talk about what happened, and everybody here can relive it. I think we're all going to have a good time. We're all going to relive it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Believe in Christmas originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on November 30th, 2024, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with this guy selling snow globes on the street, but no one cares. We're all just too busy. Beatrice walks by on the phone and a car splashes her boots with water. Ugh, the worst. She goes to meet her best friend Amelia for coffee to talk about their staycation friendsmas. Amelia comes up with an idea. Instead of staycation, we're gonna go to Christmas Land. It's a town fully devoted to Christmas, including the North Pole Inn. They make every guest feel like family and make them feel like they're in a Christmas movie. Amelia is pumped. Beatrice is less than thrilled and says, nah, man, hard pass. But after some nagging that goes on for either multiple days or an hour, I don't know, she does finally give in. Right as they get to Christmas Land, or the 5-mile away sign that they get to, they get a flat tire. Amelia is convinced that this is all a part of the magic of Christmas Land. They put nails in the road, they get you a flat, and right on cue, a hot guy pulls up in a truck and offers to give them a ride. His name is Ethan, and Amelia is pumped to get into the stranger's truck. He brings them to the magical inn, and they are handed Christmas PJs and Christmas cookies. And gotta be honest, seems great to me. The next day, Ethan walks in with Beatrice around the town and explains that Christmas Land is a place where reality and fantasy blur. It's whatever that means, that's what you can do. And she's like, well, you got to just roll with it. And Beatrice says, I'm a journalist. I can't just let things go. I can't just roll with the punches. Meanwhile, Amelia goes to an eggnog tasting and meets a guy named Porter, who is also visiting and who could also be her dad. But he's perfect, maybe too perfect. Is he a part of the whole charade? So this Friendsmas turns into the two of them not spending any time together, rather hanging out with boys. But Beatrice starts to realize that everything with Ethan has been hitting all the beats of a Christmas rom-com. So now she's like, is any of this real? They even have a couple of almost kisses. But there's one trope that hasn't happened yet. The ex-girlfriend showing up. Enter Scarlett. Scarlett is Ethan's ex-girlfriend who suddenly comes into town. Beatrice is finally like, okay, you've taken this skit way too far. You're going too far with the bit, and we've been guilty of that before. Ethan is like, I don't know what you're talking about. All of this is real, but Beatrice isn't having it. Finally, after some time of her being upset, Ethan explains to her that he's in charge of the Grinches that come into town. So she was originally just somebody that he had to babysit, but the feelings that developed and all the things that they did, they were real. And Porter, he's real too, and real old. However, no one cares because we're in love, so whatever. Somehow Beatrice is just totes fine with all of that, and they kiss, and they have a Merry Christmas. And that, my friends, was Believe in Christmas.
We did it.
We did do it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about Believe in Christmas with our 4 segments with Jen Kirkman here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Welcome back. It's great to be here. We're talking Believe in Christmas. Let's break it down with our 4 seconds. We're going to start with a hot take. We're going to share exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back. And I will start with you, Brian. Brian, what do you think about Believe in Christmas?
Well, for starters, I know that Amelia, the character, was not a white bearded Southern man, but
okay,
you'll never convince me she was not based on you.
Oh,
based on brand.
Yeah.
How does it feel to have a character based on your personality?
I did feel a certain kinship with Amelia.
I imagine you did, because I mean, she had the curly hair.
Giving Bran any sort of kin to this movie is just mean spirited.
Oh no, I get it.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
figure
mean.
you can't, and he feels good about it.
I do.
Really good idea for this movie, and I gave it a lot of chances throughout to turn the ship around, to really get on my good side, and it just couldn't do it. It just did not come together for me. And you joke about it a lot. I've heard some people who have made these movies talk about this. A lot of these people come from the horror genre. This threaded the needle of a horror movie closer than any movie I think I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
And there was even parts where I'm like, did they cut and then immediately go into the horror version? Because in the background there are things like figures with faces.
Oh my God.
Some of the craziest set deck I've ever seen.
So weird. And it was really quiet and like no cars. The atmosphere was way off, and just the behavior added to the horror of it all. So unfortunately, like, just didn't work. I really wanted it to, because I like this idea a lot, and it just did not for me.
Jen Kirkman, what'd you think about Believe in Christmas?
Well, I'm going to give you, because this wasn't the original movie I was supposed to watch. So
That's right.
my hot take involves sort of the fact that I sat down to watch this movie, but I ended up doing kind of like a self-sociology experiment, because I think it depends on the headspace you're in, whether you like or don't like some of these movies. And the first time I tried to watch it, I'm not trying to be funny, I felt so physically anxious, I had to stop. And so this is what I wrote during the first time I tried to watch it. This movie is very quiet. Like, something's going on with the audio. They didn't do background music or something. It's an unsettling feeling. It feels like I'm watching a horror movie, or like I'm anxious because I'm eating dinner with passive aggressive people who won't speak to me. Also, the music at the beginning is so timid and plinky. I can't tell if it's supposed to be jazzy. The way she's dressed, is this supposed to be the 40s? These movies usually start with a big, bold, fake Christmas song that sounds like Darlene Love, but isn't. And someone is quietly playing piano because they're also trying not to disturb these passive aggressive people that they're having dinner with. Is this movie timid? Was it filmed in 2001 or 2021? I can't tell what year it's supposed to be. And then that's when I just got too anxious.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then I watched it yesterday in maybe a different headspace, and I thought, oh, I like so many things about this movie.
Wow.
How about that? Tell us about it.
I didn't feel anxious. I loved the narration, the way that Amelia describes Christmas Land in the brochure, and it kind of frames it. And you had that animation, and so then it cuts to Ethan and the end. I thought that was a good way to frame it. I like that she likes Christmas. Like, her friend likes Christmas. She's not a hater, but she's just not into the whole holly jolly part of it. I thought that was good and subtle. I thought it was funny. She kept calling it Crazy Town, not Christmas Land. I liked that she had to write an article, but it wasn't the boss that sent her somewhere. It actually wove in the friendship story nicely, like a new angle on an old trope. I thought it was cool that her friend thought, oh, this must be an experience. Like, they put the nails in the road. It was a way to wink at all the Hallmark tropes in a totally new way. Like, maybe this village is supposed to give us this experience. I did say, I can't believe we're still doing black coffee versus peppermint flavored as a personality trait, but I did like that the two love interests both like black coffee. That was refreshing. I liked the mystery of them trying to figure out, are these guys for real or are they acting? I mean, I thought there were so many good new things about it, but overall, as the movie went on, it just fell apart for me. And even though I wasn't having a panic attack the second time through, I did still, like what Brian said, it was quiet. It was something was missing, and those figurines were daunting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Insane figurines.
yeah.
Insane figurines.
I can't. I just.
Where would you say that you liked it?
I liked watching it. I don't think I'd watch it again, but I
Yeah.
liked watching it because I was watching it from a writing perspective of that's new. You know, you kept the trope, but so yeah, I mean, I liked watching it. I don't need to ever watch it again. Nobody was memorable or likable.
I wouldn't recommend you do that. No. This has been an interesting year for the movies because I feel like there's been a lot of movies that have been quite good, and there's been a lot of movies that have been quite bad, and the quite bad ones are just boring. And so it's like, oh man, I can't wait for this to be over.
5 gold rings. This is not.
No, this is not a boring movie. Right. This is the most bizarre movie that I've seen this year and in quite a few years. A truly wild ride that I thoroughly enjoyed. This movie is nuts. This movie is insane. This movie gave me tons of wait whats, which I love. And this movie is not good, but it is great, if you know what I mean. It is an absolute blast. I didn't see it coming. This, Dan, you and I got to watch this one together, and the amount of times that I just hit you and went, bro, like so many times. It was an incredible,
rewound it several times.
An incredible experience. So many weird things, and it was giving me Truman Show vibes in that like things
How
are
dare
happening.
you?
No.
Leave Truman Show out of your mouth.
No. You understand what I'm saying? This is a town where she
It'd have been a better movie.
realizes that there's a lot of this that's not real, and part of the unsettling feeling of this movie is, as the viewer, we're like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is real? What is not? And unlike Truman Show, I still don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still not entirely sure what happened or what is real and what is not. But boy, did I have a good time trying to figure it out. Dano?
So I think the creator of the film, the writer, I would guess, probably set out to do something really fun. Like turn the Hallmark movie trope on its head. But along the way, it was like Jurassic Park. It was like we never bothered to think if we should do this. We just wondered if we could. Because I'm going to say this sentence, and I will take no other response. Aside from the Megan Ori character, everyone else in this movie is a monster. They're an absolute monster. You have set up a town without giving any sort of written or verbal consent to where something might be real, it might be fake, and we know the difference, but we're not going to tell you the difference because wouldn't that be fun? That is what this movie is. It is terrifying. It is a terrifying experiment that is more akin to the island of Dr. Moreau than it is the Truman Show. I was horrified by what was taking place in this movie on a second-by-second basis. The stuff in the background was Silent Hill level horror. It was disturbing.
It's scarier than 75% of the stuff on Shudder. It's terrifying.
Listen, like
terrifying stuff.
The stuff in this movie where they get a flat tire and they gleefully go, they must have put nails in the road. Let's get in this stranger's truck. Like, guys, like, that's not funny. It's fundamentally like, what are we doing here? Like, where there were nails in the road.
I mean, it's funny for us.
That was where I slaughtered you. That is this is bonkers and not, it was fun watching it with Bran.
Oh, I bet.
Like, there's no doubt about the fact that we numerous times were like, I can't believe this is on screen. And I also have an undying adoration for Lindora, who was in an Up TV movie that was also terrible, and she was great in that.
She's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But aside from those two things, this movie's terrifying in the worst way. It doesn't commit the cardinal sin of being boring. I will give you that.
True.
So it doesn't wind up in that bottom 2, 3, 4-ish, I don't think, where those movies are just a slog to sit through. But make no mistake, this is a train wreck. This is a train wreck of a movie, and it was tough to sit through. And I'm still trying to piece it all together.
Now, one thing this movie does have going for us, and Aaron, you can speak to this, but you did play Christmas Movie Magic while watching this, our card game, and I understand it scored the highest of the year so far.
Whoa.
Yeah, this one scored the highest. I was
Most
down,
cards
Feel like
played
that.
in Christmas
I
Land.
only had
Wow.
5 or 6 left in my deck.
Holy
How about
cow.
that?
Boy.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
was-
you
I
are
was-
in a Christmas town.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know. I might watch it again and pay even more attention
find it
and
really
try
well.
to
Get those last couple cards on the
'cause,
board.
I mean, some of the hardest ones like Advent Calendar, Nativity Scene, those were both in this. And if you're gonna give me some of the hardest ones right off the bat, I mean, I
will-
I
what are we
didn't
doing?
see a Christmas card, but there had to be one. I just
I will
wasn't
say,
watching. So.
Dan, you and I, we had a meeting with old Nick Fink from
We
Fink and
did.
Fink Games.
That's
and
right.
We were talking about expansion packs, and I didn't know we need to put horror movie stuff in there.
Oh my
but
gosh.
This
yes.
movie gave us me a
so.
lot of inspiration for future cards to be played in Christmas
So
Movie
many
Magic.
people are about to be killed in this. I can't explain to you how many people in the sequel are dead. Like we open up and half the town, the streets are
Yeah.
just filled with
They've
blood.
dug a ditch.
It's like
somewhere
Gangs of New
next to
York
the
after that
town.
big battle. Like
Yeah.
it's just,
That's-
it's terrible.
Let's do feels. Let's talk about our Christmas feels or feels of fear. Bri,
Yeah, creeped out for sure. That downtown strip was really cool. Obviously, I Google mapped that thing and found out exactly where that
course
was.
you did.
So we know where
it
to
said,
go.
course
and
you
when,
did.
right when the credits starts, it says thanks to this town.
Oh,
Like,
Nova Scotia.
Yeah, whatever it
it's
is.
beautiful,
Shout out.
Shout out.
beautiful.
It's a good
but-
town to murder a body in.
Yeah, pretty easy. A lot of water
A
around
lot of
there,
water.
too, so.
A lot of water.
The Go Tell It on the Mountain sing along was great. I wanted more of that. When they stopped that, I was like, "Why are
It
we
was?
stopping?" Yeah, I like that a lot.
Okay.
Even like around the piano.
I mean,
Just
it
those
wasn't the
little-
song.
It wasn't the song. They
wasn't the
changed all the
melody.
words
Yeah,
to
but
go
the-
tell it on the mountain.
They sounded good. What they were doing is what
Sure.
I'm saying.
They
Yeah,
did.
yeah, I liked it. But
Yeah, I mean, that is a take.
yeah.
Jen, give us your thoughts on Go Tell It on the Mountain and then also your feels.
Well, my thoughts were that's like the worst Christmas song, and it makes me feel not at all jolly or holly.
Mhm.
And
We're in a
those aren't
murder
the
town.
lyrics.
Those aren't the
It's-
lyrics. Yeah.
The lyrics are that Jesus Christ is Lord, not that it is Christmas morn. Now, I do enjoy if you want to have a non-secular take, but I'm always confused by this network. Why do they shy away
Yeah.
from Jesus? It doesn't mean that it's suddenly a religious movie, and it's certainly not it's a very chaste network.
Right.
So I was almost confused by
Yeah,
their
like Silent Night, Oh Holy Night, they're a part of Christmas regardless.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
and I'm not like offended. I'm not like super religious, but I just was like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
But I also just thought the singing was terrible and the song is boring.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
happy for
Sorry,
Brian.
Brian.
Oh.
Brian.
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh no.
But my take is
What do
very
you
simple.
hold
My-
on, Aaron?
my
What are you
feels.
saying?
Yeah.
Do you
I just Googled the lyrics.
Yeah?
to Go
Jesus
Tell
Christ
Them.
is born.
It's Jesus Christ is born, but there is a verse that ends with Christmas morn.
okay.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
So they like
I win.
mashed up
It's-
two verses.
It's a mashup.
It's a mashup.
It's a mashup.
DJ Christmas Land.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One double wrong. I thought it was Jesus Christ is Lord.
We're all
It's
learning
born.
stuff today.
But he,
Never stop learning.
he is a
There are
ABC.
more verses to this song than I thought.
Yeah,
Let's sing
I
them
thought it
all.
was the same
It's,
thing
it's
over
a
and over
very
again.
high mountain. You need lots of verses.
We're
Yeah,
learning
that's
things.
right.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, Jen. Go ahead.
Oh, my feels are very simple. The kitchen. I loved the all white kitchen with all the decorations. A small Christmas tree on the kitchen counter. Never thought of that. Amazing. I live in a small New York City apartment. There, I do not have the counter space for that. But if I ever leave New York and get some big place, a Christmas tree on the counter.
Come on
It's a
down
good
to
move.
Greenville.
Yeah,
Greenville, South
got plenty
Carolina.
of
We'll
time,
have you.
plenty
We'll
of
have you.
Well,
counter
counter
space there.
space here,
Yeah.
yep.
We gotta get you down to Greenville.
We
one
got
year.
to.
I
Jen.
would love to go, but I will never leave if I come as the problem. I will
Yeah, that's fair.
insert
Sounds like a
myself
personal
as the
problem.
fourth host.
Oh, it'd be so much
We
fun.
can
Oh,
get a
it's
bigger
your
table.
personal
I mean,
problem.
that'd be
Yeah, we
fun.
can get rid of Brian. It's not a big deal.
We've been
That's a
trying
good
to-
trade.
I want to be.
That's a
no,
good trade.
I want to be the fourth.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, we can make
Just
that
know
happen.
Brian getting rid of him is on the table.
You say the word and Brian's
You
gone.
said that so
You
fast.
say the word, Brian's
I
gone.
didn't
And
realize.
I think Brian, you get you
New
get it.
fear. I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
just
couldn't
between
argue.
you and Jen.
I
You're
couldn't
replaceable,
argue.
yeah.
I'll start packing.
Everything you said about the town is correct. I want it. I want it. The idea of going to a town that drops you in a Christmas movie and you're constantly like wondering what's real and what's not real. Yes. Is it anxiety inducing for some? Absolutely.
Is it
rightfully
predatory
so?
against the law?
100%.
Yeah.
Not in Christmas
100%. But at Christmas, anything goes. We all know that. I would sign whatever waivers. You know, people go into haunted houses around Halloween time. You sign the waiver. They can't
This
touch
is
you.
Brand's locker
They
room
can't
talk
touch
here.
you. So this is no. So this is Christmas Halloween haunted house. This
Haunted
is a
house
Christmas
edition.
haunted house.
If you
go
tell
in.
them on the front end and they sign a bunch of papers,
That's
then
exactly right.
whatever.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. I want that.
You get
I'll
what you
sign
get.
the waivers. I'll sign the waivers is all I'm saying. Dan?
3
what?
words: eggnog flight.
Yeah,
Eggnog flight.
that's a good feels.
You get a flight. We do a little thing around here occasionally every Tuesday at noon without
Noon-ish.
fail called Nog O'Clock, where Aaron, Brian, and myself taste a different nog
And
of the
Jen when she
season.
moves down.
Yeah,
and
Jen
Jen
will
when
do
she
it.
moves down. And eggnog is delightful, ice cold. You need the correct viscosity is important there. There's some spices that you need. An eggnog flight? Are you kidding me right now? Best thing about this movie, no questions asked. I was almost willing to give it the fact that people are being murdered regularly because they serve eggnog flights. I can't. City of Greenville has everything. You know that. We know
Yeah.
that. Tell me where I can get an eggnog flight in Greenville. You're listening in Greenville. You tell me where I can get one. I'm there.
You know what
I'm
I'm gonna
there.
do? I'm gonna if there's one person that would know, it's our friends at Greenville Today. I will email them and I bet they're gonna find this out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If there's anybody that can, it's them. They know everything.
love it.
Hey, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to Wait What, and we'll get to what the Hallmarks here on Deck the Hallmark. Thanks, Dano.
Double freedom rocket.
Welcome back.
Oh, we disappeared,
Oh.
Dan.
Dan, buddy. You hate
Jen,
to
we have a
see-
seat for
He
you.
was. I
Jen,
know
we
the
opened
seat,
the
the
seat.
seat is now open. This one actually. That's
Brand new seat,
interesting
too.
That's interesting. I like that. Let's get to the Wait What's. That's what we're talking about. What in this movie made us go Wait What? Brian,
Yeah,
since you're already here,
thanks.
since you're here,
I stay.
Yes.
90% of it is
Yeah.
just showing up.
what do you got?
A bunch, a truckload are just encapsulated under the question, is this a bit? And so I have a bulleted list of things that at the end of the movie I classified as, is this part of the bit? And I don't know. I
So
assume
like basically like, is it real or is it fiction?
Yeah.
Like, is it?
Yeah. Like
yeah.
he never, like, does he never pay for a cupcake? When he goes in, he says, "Hey, what did he say?" He said, "Could you hook me up with one of those?" Do you just have to say, "Could you hook me up with a cupcake?" and you don't ever pay? Like they
Great
hand
question.
you the candied apple.
Well, she has a crush on him, I guess, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's just he's taking advantage of that, leaning into that thing. But so much of it was just classified under, is it a bit? But there were a few things that fall outside this category. One of them was Carol, the inn owner, just walked right into her room when the two girls in the morning they got there.
Wow, yeah, that's
they're just
right.
hanging out in bed, and Carol just helps herself right in there, like, "Oh, hey, here's all the stuff you should do. I'm just gonna walk into your room whenever I want to. Don't worry about it. My inn, my rules."
That's what it says
Yeah,
when you walk in.
that's
It's
right.
right above the check-in desk.
Yeah, and if you
my
go,
in, my rules.
That's right, and that's you accepting. The at dusk virtual reality tobogganing in the middle of the day. Whew, boy, and they showed it twice.
That sledding scene, and I
Brutal.
wrote it down.
Brutal.
It for anybody that has seen the toy shop movie from Lifetime,
Yeah.
Melissa Joan Hart,
Oh,
Mario
yes.
Lopez.
It's like 1 second of that.
An amazing sequence, and this finally we've been looking for years to find a scene that rivals
it
it.
up, yeah.
Finally, we have it. An amazing moment. I would like to see both of those things from the toy shop movie and this one side by side, so we can.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that for the socials. I'll try
That's
to.
a good idea.
I'll try to pair
Love
them up
it.
because I think, and we can vote on it. Which
Well, the
one's
other
better?
one
And
was
by
so-
better, I mean worse.
Worse.
The
of
other one
course.
was so long.
Yes.
And this one was like 2
So
seconds.
fast.
Yeah, so they tried to hide it, but it was
But they do
terrible.
go. They show it twice.
They show it twice.
They go back to it in the. They do like a recap.
Oh, in the montage
yeah,
of the last few days, of course.
Which of course it belongs in
you
the
know
montage.
it's a good movie when they do the montage of the last few
Of
days.
course, it belongs
That's
in
when
that
you know.
montage.
I love the montage.
They are again measuring flour wrong. I don't know why
How
they
so?
do this. When you're measuring flour to bake, you don't put the cup in the flour bag and scoop it up. You spoon it into the cup and you
Yeah.
level it.
Yeah,
That's how
but
you
I
do
think
it.
you're just weird
Like,
on
let's
this
just
one.
do it right.
Wow.
Let's just do it right. Let's just do it right.
I-
Of course, those cookies were trash. You didn't measure
So
the
this
flour
is
right.
actually quite helpful. This is quite
I
helpful
dig my
because
hand in. I just grab a
With
lump
your
of
hand.
flour.
That's better than what they did.
So do you think so I just made some cookies. I was like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I want to try to make some cookies and they were a bit dry. Is it because I didn't do that?
Probably too
Yeah,
heavy
I
on the
add a little
flour.
too heavy on the
Heavy
flour.
scoop.
Heavy
Yeah,
scoop.
that packs it down.
No,
We're
I-
not scooping brown sugar. I mean, come on now.
Oh, you shoot.
So,
Of course not.
yeah, but I'll stop there because there's just so I want to everybody get a
Jen,
turn.
what do you got?
Well, yeah, the Go Tell It on the Mountain was one of them, but we talked about that. When what's her name, the lead, is asking Ethan about his mom, she goes, "Is her name really Carol, as in Christmas Carol?" Like, that's the least Christmas. Like, I get it, but it's not like his mother's name is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Good King Wenceslas. You know, it's like not that crazy.
Yeah, has he never met a Carol before?
Yeah, it's so then, like, also speaking of this mother who walks into everyone's room, you know, she just like walks in on Ethan and whatever that girl's name are about to kiss and interrupts it and then like keeps standing there until what's her name leaves. And then the mother's like, or is her name Beatrice?
Beatrice,
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
Beatrice.
Little B.
Yeah, and then the mother's like, maybe something's going on with Beatrice. It's like, it would have been you, B, but you stood there like a
That's
creep.
right.
Like, I didn't like
Everyone
it.
knows you like. Mom walks in and goes, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Like, you just slide. You don't say anything.
Yeah.
You just slide out. You give the people their
Yeah,
space.
just pop on out of there.
Be cool,
It's
mom.
your grown son is the
Be chill.
the slow dance was to the least Christmassy song of all time. It actually made me miss when people slow dance to Silent Night.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's not- you're not wrong,
That
though.
song I thought
Yeah.
too, because I Shazam that song. It's not even a Christmas song. It's just a new song that came out this year. And obviously somehow he had the record of this brand
Yeah.
new song in this
Of
cabin
course,
he
yeah.
hasn't been to yet.
Duh.
Very random.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Then there's this one moment at the beginning of the movie where Amelia's saying she's got to mail her nephews gifts so that they're there by Christmas, or else they want to have presents under the tree. And Beatrice goes, "Oh, the horror." And I'm not sure if it was just like a bad line read, but like she was being sarcastic. But I'm like, no, that would be a horror for if they're young kids to not have, like, yeah, they want presents under the tree.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, monster. And then lastly, the boots. She's standing near the curb. A car splashes her and only gets her black leather, I assume waterproof boots wet, which doesn't stain the color black. And she's like, ugh. But like, it doesn't get on her coat. There's no like,
It's the
dirt
best
or-
case scenario.
Yeah.
Best case.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
it's like what you wear boots
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
And then her friend
And-
sees her and goes, "What happened to you with those boots?"
Literally nothing
Yeah.
happened. It's like there's no like white stains on them for whatever.
That's a good one. Yeah, the boots were doing what they were assigned for.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the
It's
job
a
of boots. Those
signed-
boots were made for walking
That's
and
exactly right.
protecting.
Splash.
That's just what they're gonna do.
splash.
Serving
I
and
have a-
protecting.
I have a couple. One, when she first says, "Hey, I'm not going to go to Christmas Land," and then they do the montage of her like asking, keep asking. At one point, she picks up her landline that's next to her bed.
Yeah.
What year is this movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy to me. I don't understand what was happening and why, but it happened, and apparently she has a landline. 2024. Sometimes you need to.
Yeah.
You talked about the inn owner. It's her inn. It's her rules. She walks in and she gives them cookies, and she says, "These aren't store bought. These are homemade." Okay. Listen, as somebody who has eaten a lot of store bought cookies and
thrown 'em out.
thrown
Yeah,
many
thrown
of
them
them
all
up, I know that cookie. I love that cookie. You bought that sucker from a store 100%. There's a dog behind the counter at a bakery. And again, I love dogs. They're good boys. But that seems like it. Again, but anything goes in this town.
I guess so,
But that
yeah.
does
This
seem like it
town's
goes against
committing all
some
kinds
sort
of
of
violations.
That vet is
It
getting a
doesn't-
lot of business.
some sort of code for sure. All right,
good
let's
boy.
talk Porter.
Okay.
Okay, let's do
talk
it. We got to do
Porter.
it.
Porter is the love interest to the
Lindora's
best
character.
friend. Yes, Alice. Is
Amelia.
that it? Amelia.
Amelia.
M.
So listen, yeah, I love is love.
Yeah.
Love whoever you
these
want to
two-
love.
Two consenting adults.
But
One of them wasn't all the way consenting, actually.
So what hi. So what happened in this particular movie is something that we've seen the opposite of, where you see sometimes a parent in these movies and you're like, that person's not old enough to be a
They're
parent.
45 years old.
They're
There's
not
no
old enough to
way.
be that
Yeah.
person's parent. The opposite happened in this movie, where this character is introduced, and I assume oh, this is going to be some sort of
Like that's her
like,
father.
oh,
Yes,
we were going to get
correct.
this, and then they start talking, and you start squinting, and you're like, what's happening? What's happening here?
Yeah.
And then the eggnog flight happens, and you're like, oh, this is happening.
This is a romantic situation.
and
yes.
it just every time it was
Miracle of eggnog.
I just
on
couldn't.
Hallmark, have we? I mean, we're saying this is a 15 to 20 year age gap between those two.
I would think so.
Safely, it might be more.
Again, nothing
Safely.
wrong with it. It's
Wh-
just
I've never seen it on
this
Hallmark.
network. 1,000 plus movies at this point.
A 50-year-old dating maybe a 30-year-old.
I've never.
We don't know how old Ladura is. She's been
Hashtag
acting
new
since
Hallmark.
2017. This guy's 50. We've never seen anything near it on the channel. Not even close.
Yeah.
Jen, have you ever seen anything like that?
No, it was shocking.
Yeah. It was crazy.
It's just one of those, now we've now done it. So is this going to be in every movie? I don't know, but it was wild. But at one point, so she's like starting to think maybe Porter's too good to be true. Maybe Porter's they see him practicing lines.
Yeah.
And something else happens, and she says to Porter, hey, let's get out. Like, I got to talk to you.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, she's going to confront him. It's going to be great. A few moments pass, and Beatrice and Ethan walk out. She storms out, and on the stoop is Porter just singing
Yeah.
Yeah.
singing to
Sing
her.
it.
Guy
Yeah,
loves to
that's right.
sing.
He loves to sing.
It's like
Can't stop him.
I can't imagine a more intimidating moment for somebody than to be standing with someone on a stoop and them just start breaking out in song.
Oh my God.
And you just what
sit
do I
there
do?
and take it,
What
yeah.
do I do? Yes, you got to sit there and take it. You got to cheer. What do I do with my hands? I don't know what to do.
Can't check
You
your phone.
run.
Yeah,
You run
run.
away. You run
Absolutely.
away. The bell on the front desk.
Doesn't
Awful,
work.
awful bell.
Doesn't work. Ka-tink.
But whatever. Bang. Really weird. And last but not least, this movie ended like a Looney Tunes special.
Yes.
Yeah.
The circle comes in, it says the end, and gotta be
That's
honest.
all, folks.
Gotta be honest, it fit more than it should have. It felt right. It felt right. So there you go. Dan?
A few lines of dialogue we need to go over off the top. First of all, before they're in this crazy Christmas murder land and they're just in this big city, I believe M's character says, you know that radio station that plays all the Muppet Christmas songs that everyone finds annoying? First of all, how dare you?
As if.
How dare you? First of all, the Muppets are, fantastic. And second of all, there's a station that just plays Muppet Christmas songs. Like, how many of them are there? Aren't there like a handful for Muppet Christmas Carol, and that's it?
But those aren't even the ones I hear on the radio. I hear
Yeah.
the 12 Days of Christmas with John Denver, and that's probably about it.
I just don't like what are they already in the Christmas murder land and I don't know.
Can
it
you
yet?
send me a link? Can you send me a
That
link to
radio
that station?
Yeah.
Send me contact.
When they get a flat tire and Fate has Hallmark Hunk pick them up in the truck and he's like, get in the truck. They both climb in the front seat of that bad boy. The back cabin is wide.
There's the good boy back there.
Yeah, but Ford F-150s have a pretty luxurious
Lot of space
that
back there.
seat is a lot of space, and they both climb in the front. And the better to murder you with. I mean, you're literally like at least get in the back seat where he can't reach you with his knife or crowbar that he has in the glove box. Like they are just. That was wild. I couldn't believe that. That was crazy. At one point, someone says the line, "If there was ever an analogy to be had, I think that was it." And I don't know why I found that funny. I don't know. I think "had" is wrong there. I don't know why. Like that's a good analogy. Would be a fine line to say there. If ever there was an analogy to be had, I think it was it. And then Beatrice says this with a straight face: "Christmas Land isn't a place where people get hurt. To my knowledge, nobody ever has."
To her knowledge.
Wow. You said that like Norman Bates' mom. Like you said that line like there are bodies everywhere. Like to my knowledge, like you may as well wink at the camera.
to my-
like
Yeah.
that was
Keep me out of it. I
that
don't
was
show up to those meetings.
terrifying.
As far as we know, no one's ever gotten hurt listening to this show.
The news
As far
comes
as
on and
we
she
know.
goes, la, la,
As
la,
far
la,
as we
la,
know.
To my knowledge, no one's ever gotten hurt. I do want to point out at any point he could have told her what things were acting and what things weren't. And instead we get a twist that he's in charge of the Grinches. So I want to be clear. Their thing was an act. Like, even though they say it wasn't, it was an act. And then lastly, this scene drove me nuts for the entire movie. I sneak up on Porter running lines in the mirror. And I put sneak in air quotes because they're so loud.
So loud.
They are 3 feet away from him and they're so loud. And that begs the question, if he did hear them, he had to.
Yeah.
And so either he's going over lines because he knows it's his role and he's acting, or he should be embarrassed that he's been caught because he's in love. And they never address any of that. They just basically say, look how sweet it was. He was practicing his lines. Maybe he couldn't hear. Maybe he didn't have his hearing aid.
That could have been it. Yeah.
Could have been that.
Hearing
It
does
could have been
go.
that.
Come on.
That's all I got.
His right ear is his bad ear.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's time
He's a
for
Centrum Silver man.
it's time for what the Hallmark is, where we wonder what could have been. Maybe have give some clarity. Any questions that we still have? What are we still wondering about, Brian?
Yeah, I'm just like, Porter's there to invest in the town, I guess.
I
And
guess.
I'm wondering, like, is he just writing a check to the town? Like, what's that memo line say? Like, where does it go?
And then they bring out some green blueprints at the end.
Yeah,
Are
they're
they
looking
This is
like-
what we're gonna.
are
Yeah.
they making another one to
Right.
murder more people? Are they adding to the current
right?
town?
Are the residents allowed to just make changes to the town? Like,
It's crazy.
It's so very confused about just this vague. He's investing in the town, and here are the town blueprints, and we're gonna, this is where the bodies are going, type of situation.
That's
It's to buy more of those weird life-size figures.
yeah,
those are
the good
yeah,
stuff.
they don't have
surprisingly,
enough, yeah.
surprisingly.
You need a
expensive.
billionaire for that. You can't do that with
Few.
millionaires.
No,
That's
you
a
cannot.
billionaire
The
activity.
quality
That's
they
right.
need.
That's
Yeah.
right. Jen, what are you still wondering about?
Well, this is kind of a weird one, but at the beginning when what's her face is narrating and saying, you go to this town and they treat you like your family, and we're cutting to Ethan coming home.
Yes.
I wasn't sure in that moment, is that this woman's son, or does he stay there every year and they're doing this improv where he's pretending
Oh,
he's
yeah.
her son? And then it was clear that no, that's really
Yeah,
her
yeah.
son. And I thought I'd love to see a movie where people without a family just come and everyone pretends they're related. I thought that might be a cool idea.
Yeah, and
for
they
a
know
movie.
on the
So,
front end. I think that'd be great.
yeah,
Yeah.
you come in and like you just, you don't like your own family, or you don't have one, and so you stay at this inn every year, and this woman
Ooh.
pretends she's your mom, and you get what you
The
need.
Christmas fits.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I
Christmas
thought that might
fits.
be like a fun movie to
I
watch,
love
or
that
maybe
idea.
a fun thing to do in real life for people that need that kind of
Yeah.
support.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
If you do it in real life, then you can write the movie based on a real story.
There you go.
That's great, Brian.
this.
Double profit.
Look at this guy. You should write movies, man.
That's good. That's good. So I have one that's based off of another wonderful Ethan line. Ethan, in his declaration of love, or I guess like in this case, he's talking to Beatrice and he says, these are feelings I've never had before. I like you. The problem with this is we just met Scarlett, his ex-girlfriend.
That's true. Yeah.
First, I just want to say sorry to Scarlett.
Yeah.
Like he
He
not
didn't even like you.
Not only
Yeah.
was he just not that
That's
into
right.
you, he wasn't into you at all.
no lights.
Oh,
But
I know.
what like that's such an I thought it was gonna be like I love you, but it's like I've never had these feelings before. I like you. He's never liked someone before. He's never had the feelings of this
first time for
person's
everything.
attractive. I think they're funny. I have this funny feeling in my gut. I've heard about it on the movies. I've never had it before. I think I have to believe that that's not true, but I would like to hear it
Red
from Ethan.
flag. Don't be thinking, there's
Yeah.
got to be an explanation. Just red flag.
Just
Yeah.
red flag.
And also, a lot of serial killers, they don't feel
They don't
like
feel
have
anything.
that
That's
feeling.
true.
So that's,
Believe when people tell you who they are.
that's
believe.
right.
That's right.
Exactly right.
Dan?
I want to know how long it takes Beatrice to forgive Amelia for taking her to whatever the F this was instead of what they describe as the perfect
Yeah.
Christmas staycation. A few years ago, my wife and I, when our kids were getting older, decided we love the family stuff we do at the holidays with my extended family. And we do that on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. And Christmas now for us is we don't get out of our PJs. We literally the whole day. It's food all day that we love to eat. It's crab legs, it's lobster, it's egg rolls, it's all day long. It's just different. You just like, let's do this, a charcuterie, whatever. It's movies, it's video games with the boys. We don't leave the house. It's perfect. What Beatrice describes is we're going to do a Christmas staycation. We're not going to leave our pajamas. We're going to watch movies all day. Talk about a chill, amazingly relaxing, mentally helpful and healthful Christmas day. And instead you got what you got. I mean, how long? How long is she going to be mad about that? Because I've been mad since I heard it. So I'm just curious.
That's fair.
I'll be there this year, Dan. That sounds great.
Of course you're invited.
Come
on
on
down.
Come on. And again, you're not allowed. Once you get here, though,
That's right.
you're not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
That's actually what I understood you to say. Jen, thank you so much for joining us once again. It's one of our favorite Christmas traditions.
Tradition unlike any other.
You're the absolute best. Is there anything else you want to leave with the people?
No, I love Merry Christmas. Love y'all. Listen to my podcast about ADHD, autism called You Are a Lot. If you relate, if not, then just, see ya.
Love
See ya.
it. Love it. Love you. And we will talk to you soon. And we'll be back tomorrow. Another
Of course.
episode. Another day, another episode. Until then, may we be the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.